Alright, so this is my project for our game manager and persistence assignment, where basically we had to create a tech demo with a game manager in Unity by accomplishing expanding upon a tutorial, which was a persistence saving and loading data tutorial on Unity. And so basically what we set up, just hit play real quick, load in. I know it's very small. Can't load it. Basically, we have our main menu here where you can start a new game to load in, which will start right at level 1 here. You can see we're in scene 1. Go back to my menu here real quick, and we can load any of the levels. So go to level 1, go to level 2, shows scene 2, and then go to level 3, shows scene 3. I'll go back to the main menu. Each scene can load into any other scene, so you can basically simulate a game where you're navigating back and forth through scenes. So if I go into level 1 real quick, hit 3, we go to scene 2, hit 4, you go to scene 3, go back to scene 2, 4, and then scene 1 again, and then you can go back to the main menu. So basically the way we're doing this is with, if input.get key down key code alpha 1, load this scene. And then we have that, load scene 1, 2, 3, and so on until we have all 4 scenes. So basically, as you can see, if we start a new game, you can see up at the top we have 100 health, level 1, everything else is at 0. If we go to scene 2, you can see it stays the same. It's persisting across levels. We have all our variables. So, for example, if I go and just crank my experience up to 70, we'll go level 3, bond up, currency up, and score up, just so everything has a value. If we go to scene 3, it saves. Back to scene 1, it still stays the same. And even if you go back to the main menu and then go to a level, it still saves your settings. So this is using our game manager as a singleton pattern. Basically, also as you can see here, shows we have variables, shows how many game managers are allowed, as well as what your scene you're in, and I have an extra button here to turn on and off the singletons, so for testing purposes basically. So if I stop this game real quick, we go to game manager and the main menu and click the testing singleton button here. Go back in. You can see there is 1 game manager for main menu. Start a new game, it goes up to 2. Go to scene 3, it adds more. And it continues to grow, basically, to show you got multiple singletons and that. And then if I go back here, disable it again, and go back into the scene, or I guess enable it, we have the 1, and it stays as 1. And for basic testing purposes, I'll save that real quick. Each scene has their own game manager with a singleton on it, just to show you they're all there, but they are being deleted with, do not destroy, or do destroy, or whatever. And so, basically, for the assignment, realistically, nothing went wrong. We followed a basic tutorial online for the assignment and then expanded a bit on it by adding, we added more, here. Yes, so we expanded the GUI main menu scene 3 level scenes so that the menu loads any level. All levels can load any level, emulating players from scene 1 to 2 and so on. Originally, it was just 2 scenes that you'd click a button and you'd switch between the 2. So instead, now it's the 4 scenes. You start with your menu and then you can cycle through. As well as adding extra variables. We had health, XP, and score at first, and then we had to add 3 more. And then all of them are affected in the scene. Load it again real quick. And you can see all of them, and they all get affected. It saves it in between scenes. I'll show the load method. So if I save this where it's at, go back to the main menu, start a new game, and then hit the load button, all of my stats will be here, and they'll show. Same thing. We go back, start a new game, go back to the main menu, and then load our save game. All of our stats from the save game file reappear again. As you see, they are different. I have each of them set up in the basic game manager for each scene just to show the different icons. So again, if I had to choose one thing that went wrong, I'll just choose originally. The original way they were going through scenes was using just a traversal scene script, but that script had lines and bits of code that were decrepit and didn't work anymore. In the end, we ended up removing that script anyways to switch for the key code digits, so it didn't matter. But yeah, everything was very simple. The tutorial was super easy to follow along with, and the guy who was presenting it did it in a way that made it very easy to understand and showcase everything, and there was no confusion. I didn't have to, try and guess or look anything up to figure out what he was talking about. And then once we're done that, the expansions were very simple, adding more scenes and switching it to the key, to the key binds to switch through, and then adding more variables on. It was all stuff we'd pretty much done in the tutorial, so it really wasn't too hard to get implemented again. And just pull up the quick code, like zoom in. This is basically how we're loading the scenes. If you hit them, it'll load the scene. If you're already in the scene, not going to really do anything. Then, honestly, if I had to choose something I learned, it would be this. The how to load and save stuff. Originally, I had no idea, how to do any of this or, how to get it figured out. But yeah, basically how to save game data using persistent data paths as well as the binary formatter. And yeah, I think it's very helpful to have and use, especially if you want to make a game where, you're keeping track of your player progress and you want, just save, hop off, and then come back, pick it up later on, right where you left off. Yeah, I think it's very useful. Even though it looks kind of complicated, it's fairly simple. And yeah, I don't know necessarily if there's anything other people can learn from me in this exact way, considering I really just, followed along with the tutorial and then added a couple extra things into it. Suppose, yeah, there's not really anything that I did special. I guess I did afterwards go, search up a bit more about, persistent data paths as well as, the save and load functions, just so I could try and expand my knowledge. So it was very helpful, especially coming back to the assignment and looking at how these were working. Gave me a lot more of an understanding with them. So yeah, I guess while you're doing it, do a bit more research just to try and expand your knowledge. And yeah, that was this assignment.